Hey everybody, it's Amy Head with New Perspectives for Life in Marietta, Georgia. Today is Tuesday, November 25th, 2014, and we are just a couple of days out from Thanksgiving, so I hope you're having a good start to the week. If your kids are out of school or if you have a short work week coming up or just some changes in schedule, I hope you're looking forward to that, looking forward to a good time to celebrate and with family and friends this week. It's been a little bit of a rough start to the week, I'm not going to lie, with the whole events going on in Ferguson, Missouri this week, yesterday specifically, with the announcement of the grand jury decision. And I was kind of glued to some of the media reports going on late last night regarding that. Don't know how much you've kept up with that or not. It's been all over social media, of course, and just the media in general. But this whole Michael Brown situation with Officer Wilson in Ferguson, Missouri has really sparked and ignited a lot of controversy in our country. Once again, along racial lines, along political lines, along the judicial system itself, the police force, just pretty much every avenue. If you're a parent, you have a child, you probably can even relate to it just from that end of losing a son to violence in the streets like this from the hands of law enforcement. It's really been kind of concerning on so many levels, just what this outcome has brought about. The fact that the officer is not going to be put to trial for what a lot of people feel were criminal acts against Michael Brown, this has just really sparked outrage in a lot of people. It has also sparked justice in a lot of people, or a sense of justice, that some people don't feel that there was anything that this officer should be tried for, that he was doing what he should have done in the line of duty, given that he felt threatened and that he felt like a person of interest was not adhering to his commands as an officer of the law. I don't know where you fall on either side of that spectrum or somewhere in the middle. I'm not actually sure where I fall in that spectrum. But a couple things have kind of gone through my mind as I've been watching the coverage. And even when they were announcing yesterday afternoon that they would be announcing the result of the grand jury, I already kind of felt then that it was sort of going to be a lose-lose either way, because if they decided that the officer was going to go to trial, then I know there were a lot of facts and information that might not look toward needing a trial. And so it was almost going to have this look as if he was being set as an example to sort of quiet down a community that was already having so much unrest around this issue. If the jury decided that he was not going to be brought to trial, that there wasn't enough evidence to make a case, which in fact was what they decided, that was already knew that was going to lead to civil unrest in Ferguson once again, which they had already gone through a few months ago, and it was devastating then. And of course, as we've seen and continue to see today, it's been devastating now. I think there's a lot of ways that we can all rush to judgment, we can all make assumptions, we can all believe that we have knowledge to enough of an effect to make statements about certain things, but the truth of the matter is we really don't know anything. We just know what we've heard, we know what we've seen, but that is such a small glimpse into what actually is the true picture. And wherever that true picture lies, none of us really know. Even the family of Michael Brown has asked for peace, has asked for peaceful protest, and they have not even been respected in that from a lot of people in the Ferguson area, because people are just so outraged and so upset. And it's not really even just about the Michael Brown case. I think it's when this just triggers decades upon decades upon decades upon years and years and years of mistrust, of misuse, of just a misrepresentation of a population. So I think when I'm thinking about that, especially just in dealing with my clients, you know, what I notice is behaviors and unrest and sort of lawlessness or recklessness usually come about when people feel no hope. There's not really reason to act out of the pure negative emotions if you feel like there's going to be a sense of hope, or if you feel like you're going to be heard. But if you don't really feel like you're going to be heard and you don't feel that there's a sense of hope, it's almost like why not act out? Not that it's right, but why not? When teenagers come into my office who have been engaging in behaviors that are self-sabotaging, reckless, maybe are hurting other people, property, whatever it is, they're coming in doing that because what difference does it make? Nobody's listening to them. They don't feel there's any hope in things getting better, so they're resorting to things that aren't helpful. When couples come in with marriage problems, and one's had an affair, or one is spending too much money, or one isn't giving attention to the household, to the spouse, to the kids, it's not like they really planned to do that, but if they feel like there's no hope and that their messages haven't been heard time after time again, it's almost like, why not? I mean, what difference is it going to make? Why not? There's no hope. Nobody's giving me any credibility. I'll just mess up. I mean, why not? Why not? So when you think about the issues of Ferguson, it's kind of like, for a lot of people, probably, why not? The media, social media, the justice system, politics, the law enforcement, nobody's listening. It doesn't feel like it's ever going to get any better. Why not? That's not to say that to respond to the question why not with violence and all this emotional upheaval is right, but at the same time other efforts haven't seemed to make a difference. So I think it's really important as we're watching these events unfold, as we're thinking about our responses to them, being distanced from them even just geographically, when the question is why not, somebody has to provide some hope. Somebody has to provide some opportunity for allowing people to be heard. Otherwise, the result of why not is going to be recklessness. It's going to be lawlessness. Doesn't make it right, but it's not limited to being a minority. It's not limited to feeling oppressed by the government. I see it in my office every week. People come in at their lowest of lows because why not? There's not a good answer for it. So they take matters into their own hands and they make decisions that are hurtful to themselves, to other people, to their community. Until they feel a sense of hope or a sense that they're going to be heard without judgment towards solution, why not just leaves the opportunity for recklessness and lawlessness. I don't know what to do with that. I'm struggling with that myself this week as I'm watching this unfold. But I feel like some of us need to be out there providing hope. Some of us need to be out there providing an ear with no judgment. It doesn't matter so much who's right or who's wrong, because truthfully, we're never going to know. What matters is providing hope and providing the opportunity to be heard. I hope that's helpful for you this week. I hope that makes some sense. I'd love your comments. If they're political in nature and they're very judgmental in nature, I'd rather you private message me just so that we don't start another firestorm. I will respond to them for sure. But I really like to think towards hope and towards letting those folks who need to be heard be heard. Like I said, whether it's an 8-year-old, a teenager, a married couple, or whether it's the events in Ferguson, we don't generally tend to respond to resort to recklessness and lawlessness unless we feel there's no hope and we're not going to be heard. Thanks so much for joining me. Amy, Head New Perspectives for Life in Marietta, Georgia. I hope that you will have a wonderful Thanksgiving and find gratitude in everything that you do through the rest of this Thanksgiving week. Thanks so much.